do you think that the pandemic classifies as a collective trauma?
Good question. And I actually went there myself the other day, like trying to differentiate a crisis and a trauma. Is it semantics? And genuinely, a trauma is defined as one is either in fear of their life being in danger or the fear of someone you love's life being in danger. And it can also be vicarious, which we learned with 9/11. So it definitely it is defined as a trauma. And I this time right now with the pandemic, I'm going to get so quickly into trying to secure financing and to pay this month's rent that this trauma is going to be put in a compartment and it's not going to come out for years to come. And using EMDR, it's one of the techniques I use. It's eye movement desensitization reprocessing. Basically, what we're doing is we're changing the way traumatic memories are stored in the brain. The way in which it works is if traumatic memories are stored in a file cabinet and they're not actually sitting inside. They're almost like if you jammed something in the file cabinet and ran out the door because you were running late, okay? It's not settled in and it's not in a certain place in the mind. It's still very much emotionally activated by triggers. And then what we end up doing is I have you shift yourself to something far more positive. And it's called like a voluntary image replacement, which is pretty interesting because with the help of the bilateral stimulation, someone can go from I was scared to death to, oh yeah, that time that we were camping and we were at that log cabin. And oh my God, that was so fun when we went kayaking. Even now what we were talking about and what Jess was saying, in years to come, will we be triggered by people coughing? Will we cross the street when someone's coming near us, I do wonder if we will be able to, you can't change history, but you could change the emotions in which it's stored with. It's now it's a hypersensitive smoke alarm. So your body falsely detects things that are not threatening as threatening. And that is what can happen after this pandemic. What they do with all this SPECT scanning and imaging, if you say, MaryAlyce, imagine yourself running, like you're running for your life. My brain fires off nearly the same as if I was running for my life. There's post-traumatic growth. And that prepares you to make it through more difficult situations. I know I made it through a brain tumor, you know what I mean? Or a total radical change of life. You've made it through an economic collapse or something where you've taken, I'm sure both of you have taken your kids to the ER or had a moment at some point where you panicked.
Yeah.
And you got through it.
Yeah.
And that's where you could tap into that for a level of resilience.
I love that post-traumatic growth. Thank you, MaryAlyce, for joining us.
It was a pleasure to meet with you both.
This is so helpful and valuable conversation to put out there for our community.